Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond Just Bougie.
Yes, welcome back to another episode.
Today we're going to talk about hot girl habits. And I found a good quote to talk about hot girl habits. Basically, the quote for this one is, being a hot girl isn't about looks, it's a mindset.
Oh, I love that.
I love that too.
I love that because it all starts in the mind, and I think we've covered this on some of our past episodes. Is the mind, as you say, is so powerful. Mindset is definitely everything.
I feel like hot girl habits relates to exercise. Like last year I was doing like my little hot girl walks and like it makes such a huge difference doing it.
So yeah, I can definitely relate for the hot girl walks. So for me, I have to do hot mom walks because I can't go anywhere without the kids. But it definitely brings a different energy to like have that walking and clearing your mind and exercising. And that's definitely something I want to get back into this summer too.
Like with me, so I found this park in Atlanta. It's like one of like the main parks that I like going to because you could do a 5 mile walk. And what I like about it is like you can see like houses around Atlanta, like you can see a golf course. And all I did was like listen to like my podcasts about knowing your self-worth and like, building your dream life. Just different like, women that are inspiring. And it definitely helped me like just after that exercise, I felt more pumped and like more energized and like I was ready to like take care of like the rest of like my errands that I had to take care of. It just gave me a very positive start of my day. So
it's definitely like eye opening because when I go on my walks, like it opens up my mind. Like I think about things. It's just like it's somewhere like away and somewhere new. Like you're not stuck in the routine of like being in your house where like you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like it just clears your mind and I think I can't tell you how many like ideas or aha moments I've had just going on a walk. And it's like something as simple as a walk can literally like do all of this. It makes a big difference. And not to mention, as you said, it's a hot girl habit of the idea of just exercising too. So
and like there's this little coffee shop. So I realized that some people will do that like their little walks and then they go to the coffee shop after. So it's like pretty relaxing and people bring their laptops too and like work on like any assignments that they have or projects. So
that is nice. I would like something like that.
Yeah. So I think that's like a great, start of like hot girl habits.
A bougie hot girl habit.
A bougie hot girl habit.
Oh, but you know what the best thing is about going on like okay, if we're gonna really get into it, like there's something about like a hot girl walk, but like if we're getting into like a bougie hot girl walk, like you have to have like the outfit.
Oh yeah,
and like the tumbler that matches. I was watching a show, and she had on like the matching like like it was like a crop top and like the high rise leggings with like the matching tumbler, and I was like, this is just a vibe for working out.
Didn't we have that conversation about? It's so weird how I'm gonna start this, but remember how you were like. There's a word for it. You put your feet on the grass to feel that nature.
Yes. To ground yourself.
Ground yourself.
Yes. So my mother is very in tune with like being in the earth and like her environment and stuff like that. And she was like, you have to walk outside barefoot. And it's something about like you get energy from the earth and it grounds you. And it's so weird because you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to walk outside without my shoes. But if you think about when you were kids, like back in the day, we used to do that all the time.
Remember I used to go hiking too? That's part of my self-care, like my hot girl habit. I love hiking. Like I like going to Tallulah Gorge State Park.
Yeah. I remember I went with you to one of the parks. Yes. I actually like hiking too. I went to we went to Yosemite Falls.
Okay.
And it was freezing. There was snow there. But you got to hike up the rocks. I was like, this was like hiking like up, like you climb the rocks too.
Okay.
And it was some trail, but some places, like if you wanted to get to a view or if you want to take a picture, you have to go up these rocks. And I had on some bootleg Uggs and they had no grip on the bottom. And I slipped and I like twisted my ankle a little bit. But other than that,
you have to wear like hiking boots for that.
Yes, I said that, so I'm gonna start doing that every year. Get me and the kids hiking boots, and we're gonna start going on trails. Yeah,
I love hiking. I think hiking to me is, like I said, self-care. It just gives me like a different view in the world to appreciate what God has created for us.
The views.
Yeah, the views. Like just the waterfalls and just hearing that and like even meeting people too, like walking by people and asking them like, oh, like where are you from? Or, just starting conversations with people. And to me, like, I don't know, with me, for some reason, once I reach that destination, like when it comes to hiking, it's so like it just gives me the excitement that I actually reach that point of like, you know,
It's an accomplishing moment when
Yeah.
you reach like the top.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So I think that's why most people like hiking too, because of that. But you know, with me, I'm so concerned about like with hiking. Okay, it's like the girly girl in me comes out where I'm just like, oh my god, snake, or like, you know,
I saw.
Do you
one
remember we
when
saw a snake when we
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw that, but I was like,
it was like
yes.
a black snake. It was some type of snake
and
we saw.
certain ones are like poisonous or whatever, so
Yeah.
I get like so scared. But I don't like bugs. I don't like spiders. I don't like snakes. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I see a bear or like a coyote or something? Like I am like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, my friend said she saw like a red fox one
No,
time.
I would be so scared.
Yeah,
I
she
need
was-
like a hiking stick, a pocket knife,
Yep.
the bear horn.
You definitely
like,
need water, hydrate. So
I don't care about water as long as I
I
have
care
the
about water.
utilities. I need to protect myself. Okay, let me stop. I do care about water, but like those are the things that I'm like, oh my gosh, like it prevents me from wanting to go hiking. But like you can't let those little things. Well, those are big
Yeah.
things, but most people don't run into those type of things when they go hiking.
I agree with you on that.
I remember I went to the park. No, I went to the park. I took my kids to the park and I was walking like the trail on the park. This wasn't even like a wild part of the park. It was just the trail. And I saw, I don't know why I always want to call her a reindeer, but
Okay.
it's not a
Yeah.
reindeer, but I saw like, I don't know which one it is, the deer with like the big antlers. And I was
Okay.
like, cause you don't normally see those. You normally
don't.
just see like a deer, but it was like the deer with antlers, and I was like, it was literally like right there, like I could see it
Oh
so
my gosh.
close, and I was like, oh, let me keep walking this way. But I was so terrified, and I was like, okay, it's not a big deal, like that just is in earth, like let me leave it alone. Like,
Yeah.
they're in nature, they're doing their thing, but terrified.
I would be terrified too. So I think what's important too for hot girl habits is like what you consume, like for both your body and your mind. So I think social media is like the main thing to worry about, like what you consume like in your mind. For me, I have a habit of getting on TikTok in the morning and before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I personally think I should wake up in the morning, say my prayer to God, have my moment with God like for 30 minutes or so, and just say positive affirmations. I don't need to be on TikTok. Like even my therapist I had, he was like, because I noticed like sometimes like I'll wake up in the middle of the night too. My therapist told me to, before I go to bed, he said I should read a book, like
Yeah.
a book that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So I think that's important, like what you consume, like, you know, mentally. So as a hot girl habit, I think, you know, bringing in positive, you know, just positive information. And I just think personally, being on social media, it takes a big toll like in your time too. So
I think it's like going down the rabbit hole
Yeah.
type of situation sometimes. Like there's so much information out there. And for me, it's like I get into analysis paralysis with all the information that's out there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. Like they'll tell you like a million ways you can grow your hair. And I was like, oh, and then they just keep feeding it to you. And it's like next thing you know, it's like 15 minutes later and you're still looking at hair growth recipes. And it's like, I'm not even going to try any of these. Like, why am I still
yeah.
looking? So I feel like, you know, there's a time and place for social media, but it shouldn't deter you from like the things like you need to do. Like you said, you need to consume like different things mentally, like reading your books, going on walks to clear your mind, you know, actually doing things that matter, journaling, like
Yeah.
all of those kind of help clear your mind. And I think that when you lose focus of that in social media, then it could be a negative thing to do.
That I totally agree on that. I'm really trying to work
Yes.
on not being on social media first thing in the morning. It makes such a huge difference too. And also too, like watching TV.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love TV.
But I feel like reality shows, like, okay, for example, I can't watch Love and Hip Hop. It's too much drama.
What?
I
I
can't.
used to be able to watch it all the time. I used to watch every reality TV show there was out there, but now I just don't have the time like that.
Yeah.
But I do watch like scripted, like regular TV shows. I go down the rabbit hole with TV. Like I can watch TV all day. Like it's so bad. It's so bad. And it's even worse that my husband is the same way. So it's like we'll start a show and it'll be like, oh my gosh, we're on episode what? And it's like, what time is it? So that's definitely a habit that I'm trying to get out of. And like even today, I told him, I was like, you need to turn that off. Like I'm about to do the dishes.
Yeah.
Because it's like what happens is you go down the rabbit hole, and then it's like there's all these things around you that have to get done, and it's like, what did I do with my day? I watched TV. So same thing, time and place.
Also too, Tanisha, like for, I think a healthier habit too, like for being a hot girl is like practicing that self-love. Like my sister always tells me like, whenever I'm having a bad day, like I'll be on the phone with her. I'm like, this happened and, it's like, it hurt my feelings and I'm not too happy about this. Like I'm kind of like having a bad day. And she's like, go get yourself some coffee. Get something that like makes you happy. Like go shopping or something like that.
Go get something that cheers you. Do something that you like doing. But no, I agree with that because I was watching, sometimes I try to get into finance and like budgeting and things like that. And so some of them are like, some of them will tell you like, restrict this, restrict that, restrict this. And they're like, no, you have to go out and do some of the things you like, but include it in your budget.
Yeah.
So like if you like to go get a coffee every morning, go get your $5 coffee, but budget that into your money so you can still know where your money's going, but you're doing something that's making you happy. Because when you restrict yourself too much, like it's not showing yourself that self-love that you deserve.
Exactly.
You need to pour into yourself. And sometimes it's worth going to get the $5 cup of coffee. It's if that's what you like to do, that's just what you like to do.
I don't know. It puts a difference in my mood.
It does. Really does. It really does.
My sister, every time I shop with her, like I love her to death. Like, I love you, sis. But every time I go shopping with her, I'm like, I don't think I should get this or get this. Buy it. You got the money, though. I'm like, girl, I'm trying to budget, but
yes, I feel like I sound like your sister because I do the same. You're like, oh my gosh, I like that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's on sale. It looks super cute on you. So I agree with your sister. Buy it.
I know exactly.
I love shopping, so I'm always going to encourage you. Buy it.
Yeah, but like for example, when I went to Whole Foods and like I saw the Stanley Cup, I have a weakness for Stanley Cups. I do, and. I remember I do this. I have a habit of doing this. Like every time I see a Stanley Cup, like I'll send her a picture of it, and I'm like, "Hey, like, what you think about this?" And she's like, "Buy it. It's cute." Like, and she'll give me reasons why, and I end up buying it.
You drink more water. You stay hydrated. You can take it on your hot girl walk.
Oh my god!
You always need a good Stanley. Now I'm not so bad. My niece, hoarder. When it comes to Stanley Cup, she's a hoarder.
So I think I have like 4 Stanley Cups. Yeah. So. I have one for work, one
not
for working out.
Stanleys.
I'm surprised I don't have a different name for them, but
oh my gosh, that is the new thing right now.
What?
If you're listening and you have Stanleys, we have to start naming them.
Yeah,
we have to give the Stanleys a name. Like all the Stanleys can't be Stanley. We already know the brand. Like it needs a name.
Yeah.
Like okay, this one right here. This is my black one. My niece. No. I bought this. I was gonna say my niece got it for me. I got this. I think. Yeah. Or did she buy it? No, my niece might have bought this one for me too. But this one, because it's black with a little bit of cream, this is like my boss and bougie Stanley.
Okay,
because it's given like boss with a little bougie because it has the accents. Now my black on black, when I get one, it's gonna be black on black. Like that's just like my boss, like my boss lady Stanley.
But you have the flower one too,
like this
right?
one right here, yeah, that's my soft girl Stanley.
Okay,
like when I'm feeling in my soft mood, I'm like, oh, I just want to be a little tone, you know, I need to chill out today. Like then that's the Stanley I have. But this one, this is my bougie boss Stanley.
Oh Jesus!
Yes, a name.
So I also think what's important too is like prioritizing like your sleep. Like I think like prioritizing like your sleep for that like that glow. It makes such a huge difference. It makes such a huge difference.
It really does.
Because like there are some girls that wake up 5 a.m. like they have a routine. They wake up 5 a.m. Do their workouts, read their Bible, do their positive affirmations, do their 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 work shift.
Yeah.
And then they take care of other things they need to take care of, and then they go to sleep.
I think one of the best things for a hot girl habit is a schedule or a routine. Like just doing that repetitive thing and seeing what works for you is like like you said, because people have their 5 to 9 before their 9 to 5, where they get up.
I see that a lot on social media.
They do their skincare routine, their workouts, and their this and that, and take care of the things they need to take care of for themselves before they go to work.
So how do you feel about like let's say for example, because I think when you do like your self-care routine, I think it's an all-day thing. It's exhausting, but what I'm basically trying to say is like, how do you do your schedule? Like, do you start with your hair, then you do your nails, and then you do your facial, and then you work out? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, some girls, like, on social media, they'll post, like
a maintenance day?
Maintenance day, yeah. Like, they'll do, like, an 8 a.m., like, hair day.
Yeah.
And then, like that same day I meant. Like, they do 8 a.m., get your hair done,
doing it all
10 a.m., nails.
Like too much.
I do it sometimes. It's exhausting.
Doing it all back to back is too much for me. And I have kids, so I can't make a whole day of it. Like it's either, well, I don't really get my hair done like that because I do my hair at home. But I feel like if you go to get your hair done, that's like a big chunk of the day. And then you're going to get your nails done in the same day.
I do it. Girl. So this is what I do. I get my hair done because, the Dominican salon.
You get done whenever you get done.
Yes, I go there when it opens. I think it opens like 8:30. I'll probably get there like 9 o'clock.
They do a really good job.
They do. I love them. So I'll be there first thing in the morning. And then after that, get my hair, my eyebrows done, my nails. What else? And I think that's it. That's what I take care of. I don't do my eyelashes anymore like I used to, so I don't worry about that. Thank God. But after that, I'm done. Like,
I think that's a day.
Yeah.
I think I can do brows and nails in the same day, and then hair would have to be a different day for me. Like, I don't think I can do. But I don't know. There is something about maybe you have to do them all at once, because there is something about getting your hair done and your brows done in the same day. Because that all like complements your face.
It does.
So it's kind of like after you get your hair done, you kind of have to get your eyebrows done. It makes a big difference, I think.
And if I'm like not feeling tired after all that, I'll do like a little makeup, shopping.
Yeah.
Day. So. Yeah,
so
do a little
right
Sephora
now.
Trip.
Yeah, get like 1 or 2 things like that you need to like spruce up your routine, or just get something that's kind of popular, or like a new item.
I also think too, what's important as a hot girl is your mental and your emotional health. Like healthy boundaries. Like we always talk about boundaries. Just loving yourself and sticking to those boundaries that you have, with yourself and like friendship wise and relationship wise.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up something because you brought up the word boundaries. It's important to set boundaries for self-care, because it's like you have to set the routine and you have to stick with it, because it makes such a big difference. Like I noticed, like I had fell off of having a self-care routine for a long time, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to start back up with doing like something basic. And this is going to sound so crazy, but something basic as like a face care routine with like a wash, a toner, a serum, and a moisturizer.
That's like a Korean.
And I have to do a lip mask and an eye.
That sounds like a Korean skincare.
Yes,
step. So
getting out of the basics of just like washing up in the shower and putting on lotion all over. It's like, okay, you need to amplify your face care. And I noticed a huge difference in like how my face looked when I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh, this looks so good. And yeah, I would throw in the mask, and sometimes for the Korean, like the more steps, like they do the face mask and stuff too for the 9-step.
You notice the girls are doing like a red light.
The red light therapy.
What?
Yes.
What's the purpose of that?
It helps with like I think anti-aging. I think and help.
Well, my main concern is the red light mask. Like if you will have health issues, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like it will cause like cancer, I guess, skin cancer.
I do worry about the long-term effects of it, so I have to do more research before I think about it. One thing I wanted to get into though was the geisha, massaging techniques with the
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like the geisha tool, and you like do the facial things and drain your lymphatic system in your face. That's supposed to work really, really good too. So
when I first moved into my apartment, I remember like I will always take a lot of baths, and I felt like that was like part of like my self-care routine, because I see a lot of girls that will like have their little books out with the little like stationery.
They have the tray.
Yes, they have like little like body scrub. Yeah,
and snacks. I was like, dang, y'all snacking in the tub too? How long is this bath?
Yeah, and like I will buy like little like foam soaps, and like I don't know, it made such a huge difference. Like after work, I would just feel so relaxed, and
it definitely relaxes you.
Yes, and then do my skincare, and I'm good to go to bed. Like that, I want to go back to doing that again. Like that's like my little hot girl habit.
Yes, I think that definitely is something. But it goes back to mental. I feel like it mentally just relaxes you too. I love a good Epsom salt bath.
Yep. Epsom salt. Yep.
Smells so good. They have certain ones with the essential oils now, and they smell so good. And I like the scent. When you make your bath and you put the bath salts in there, and like the whole room has this scent in it, like it just brings a different energy.
I was gonna say, like, do you still shop at Lush for that stuff for your bath? Like, you know, the little bath bombs that they have. I haven't been to
Lush for a while.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've been at Lush for a while, but I do love their bath bombs. That's a good one. Maybe I need to start going back to there and getting their bubble bath and their bath bombs, because I really did like theirs. But lately, I've just been doing like a little trip to Walmart, and you get the Dr. Teal's with the bath,
I know you're
the
talking
bath
about.
bubble bath, and they have the matching salt that goes with it. But they've been coming out with some pretty good like scents, so I have the set when I take my bath, and that's like my thing. Like if I'm in a mood, I want a certain scent for my bath. So
I remember when I went to Sephora and I wanted to buy like this little like brush that you use for like your body. So I saw a girl, like she was just like brushing like her skin before she started
the dry brushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to start doing too.
There is so many things to get into as far as like health wise when it comes to like skincare and body care. It's like there's so many different things nowadays.
I think what's important too is investing like your self growth. Like for me, like examples like reading or therapy or learning a new skill. I love going to therapy. I just like venting to my therapist. I feel like I'm talking. Well, my therapist, I feel like I'm talking to a girlfriend, but at the same time, she does provide like the best tools that I need to make better decisions in my life. Because sometimes, like, you know, with me, I don't trust the decisions that I make. So I feel like my therapist is like the best person I could talk to, because one, like, you know, she's not allowed to, you know, give that confidential information. And, you know, I feel like I'm in a safe space talking to my therapist.
Yeah.
So what do you think, like, is your personal growth?
For me, personal growth, I like reading. I love to read a lot of like, I don't like calling them self-help books, but I like a lot of self-help, self-development type books. I get a lot just out of reading. I also like to like journal. I find that I answer a lot of my own questions when I write it out on paper. And I feel like that helps me grow, because it's like looking at like what I wrote down and seeing if I did the things that I said I was going to do. It helps me move forward, and I see the growth in my journaling, like, okay, how I handle situations and things like that. Therapy for me, I've only went, to my one therapist.
We talked about that.
I didn't mind her, but I also felt the same way as like when I journal, like when I talked to her, it was nice to have like a third party to just kind of vent to. And I felt like, I just talked and talked and talked. And a lot of times like I would hear my own solution come out when I was talking to her. So that I liked about therapy too.
You know, the one thing I do have to say this, and maybe you guys could agree on this. I hate when I have a therapist that I really, really like, and then they end up going to a different practice, like, or they start their own practice. And I was like, damn, like, what the hell? Like, I had this one therapist. She was my absolute favorite. Like, I felt like I clicked with her. Yeah. But come to find out, she doesn't take like the insurance I have. Yeah. I only met her through my job because it's, free through my job. And then I quit, obviously, because we talked about it on the first episode. So I remember my friend told me about this because she's a therapist. I remember she said, like, don't build a strong, relationship with your therapist, because sometimes.
Oh, and that's horrible, because that's the whole point. Like, you want to have that person that you trust.
So maybe you guys could, like, leave a comment and tell us, like, what you think about, like, therapy. Like, if you ever had a situation where, like, you had a strong bond with your therapist and then they end up going to, like, a different practice. Like, what do you do, like, how you do your research on finding, like, the perfect therapist for you?
Yeah, I think that's a good one, because it's definitely hard to find like the perfect therapist.
It's hard to click with certain ones, because some ones are like, so serious all the time. Yeah. And you don't know, you can kind of tell or read the room that if they're like frustrated with you. And I didn't know this too. Like, a therapist can actually fire you if they feel like you're not making any progress.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that my thing is, I don't understand, like,
and of course you could fire them too.
What if you don't click with your therapist? Like, how do you fire them? Like, or how do you tell them like you're
you
not
just
coming?
stop going. That's what I do.
You just
I
stop going.
stop going. I'm like, hey,
I
I'm
mean,
not
like-
gonna come to like this next appointment, and then I just ghost.
You just ghost. Like, because I was like, is there a situation where like you feel like you need closure with the therapist? Like, but then I feel like if you get closure, like, is that being rude to say like, hey, I feel like you're not helping me anymore? Like, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
pretty sure
Or-
they get that all the time, though.
it's just weird. That's so
yeah.
uncomfortable for me. Like the idea of breaking up with a therapist. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, you guys could tell us too, like how you end your appointments, like with your therapist. Like, if you feel like you don't have a connection with them.
Yeah, like if it's just time to move on, like how exactly do you move on?
I also learned this too. Like, when your therapist feels like you're fully healed, or you're at that point where you don't need to go back to therapy sessions, like they'll tell you actually like, hey, like, I think you're doing great so far. Like, I think, you learned everything that you learned from me. Like, I think you could
Maybe
stop
not come as
attend
often?
therapy. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder if anyone ever like really does that.
Yeah. I've had 2 friends tell me that. Like,
Really?
I had a friend that told me like, his situation. And he said his therapist said he handled the situation like perfectly. And I think, it's time to part ways,
That's
but in a
nice.
professional way, of course.
Okay,
saying that.
that's pretty
So,
nice.
Yeah. That's like part of like my personal growth is going to therapy. And also I'm trying to go back into reading too. Like a lot of like, what's that book that I told you about? The Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
I need to go back to reading that because there is this one section, one chapter that I read about like a small percentage of like actually doing the work. Like 5% can make such a huge difference from actually doing nothing. So,
Yeah.
and then they had like a scale of like each day or like each week that you actually put in the time to, get to
Yeah.
that goal that you're trying to achieve. You realize like how much of a difference it makes than rather doing nothing.
So that's
Yeah.
considered one of my
Yeah.
self-help or self-development type books. There are so many that I want to read this year. I want to read The 5 a.m. Club. And that just
Okay.
basically talks about like getting up at 5 a.m. and starting that 5 a.m. shift of a day and like getting your mindset into like the reasoning of waking up at 5 a.m. I also want to read Atomic Habits. I want to read.
You can borrow mine. I have mine at home.
I think I have.
borrow mine.
I think I have. I might have one. I don't know.
Okay.
But if not, I'm gonna hit you up on that.
Okay.
Atomic Habits. They also have the 12-week work year, I believe.
Okay.
So it's basically like when you work for yourself or if you do anything like where you can get all your work done ahead of time. It's about scheduling like 12 weeks to like really grinding it out. So like the rest of the year will be like easier. And then the last one that I really, really want to read this year too. I'm sure like I'll read more books than this, but like these are just ones that I really want to read. Mel Robbins, she just came out with a new book, I think not too long ago, called The Let Them Theory. And it's just, yes,
I like I just like her content on her social media. What she says, like,
oh, I love Mel Robbins. I have her 5 4 3 2 1 book.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I've heard of that book, but yeah.
I love Mel Robbins.
I remember she posted something on TikTok and she was just like, oh, you didn't get invited? Let them. That guy rejected you? Let them.
Yeah.
That job didn't, you didn't reach the next round of the interview? Let them.
Yeah. Because it really takes the pressure so much off of you of what did I do and what did, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Like, don't worry about that. Just let them, let it be. And I really like the part, there's another part of what she says. You know how people tend to overthink things? She's like, well, stop overthinking and think it, you can think the situation out, but think of it in a positive way. So instead of thinking out the negative and what could possibly happen in a negative thing, think about it like, hey, what if this works out for me? And think about the conversation that you're replaying in your mind or the interview that you have to do or, the workout that you're dreading doing, thinking about it in a positive way. Like, okay, this is going to work out in my favor. This is going to work out in a good way. Like, think about it that way instead of the negative side. And I love that about her.
Like, for example, yesterday, I was talking to one of my friends at work, and I was just like, I know I want to go to the gym. I have a Stairmaster at my gym at my apartment. Why am I not doing the work?
Yes.
And, he gave me great advice, but it was just like, those thoughts in my head where I'm like, why am I stopping myself from doing this? Because I enjoy working out.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just don't put in the work. I don't. So I'm going to do it Thursday. I'm going to stick to it. I was thinking about just like going to the gym and do the Stairmaster and then do my little hot girl walk after, and just enjoying this weather that we have, because I don't know when it's
while it's here.
While it's here.
Yes.
So to be honest with you, I really want to start going, like, doing coffee dates, or like do like solo dates. You know, when I moved into my apartment, I did one solo date, and it's crazy because I went to the movies as like a solo date, like I think of my first or second week when I moved into my apartment, and I was so happy. I was so excited after I did that. I called my friend. I was like, "Can you believe I did a solo date? I need to start doing this more often." But then life got so busy.
Place to do that. Yes.
But yeah, I would say that would be like part of like a routine that I want to add. Like,
okay, something that you would want to add into your routine every week.
Yeah,
or something like that. Mm-hmm. So with all of these hot girl habits and things that we've been talking about, it made me think of like what my ideal like hot girl routine would be, or my hot mom, I'll say for myself, routine would be. And like for me, like including some of these things that we're talking about, like for me, I would love to join the 5 a.m. club and wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I would want to do my water with lemon, you know, my warm cup of water with lemon. I would like to do some sort of exercise. I would think like stretching or something like that. Read a book, journal, have my coffee and breakfast, and then my kids would probably be up by then. So then it would go to like more of my mom day and things like that. But I would like to knock out some of the like the things that we talked about before my kids wake up, so I can have that me time and like that self-care time for myself. But that like ideally would be kind of like, and I would have to do like a skincare, like my face care, and like get dressed and do a little makeup too before the kids wake up. Okay. So I look, you know, nice and put together and feel like accomplished for the day.
I think with me, what I want to add into like my routine, like I really want to wake up in the morning like around 5 or 6 a.m. like you. I would like to open my Bible, and because like I said, you know.
Oh yes, I definitely need to. Yep. Well, the reading and journaling part, we need to add that in there.
Because I think that's a great way to start your morning.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
I want to do that. Say positive affirmations. I want to get into the habit of going to like coffee shops and like, you know, work on any assignments that I have to work on. It makes a huge difference. Like it gets you to meet people too, and just like have that focused mindset, because you don't always have to stay at home.
You really don't. And I feel like I've been, I hate saying this, but you know, we're like 5 years post-pandemic, you know, and I feel like that the only reason I say this is because that pandemic point really like put a damper in like my social side of life. Because I used to be the person, like we were out every day. Like, I have to get out the house every day. And then like when it was like the shelter in place and everyone's at home, like I kind of got used to that. And I feel like even now, like I'm not as out there as I used to be, but I'm trying to like, okay, we need to get out the house. Like we need to get out the house. So it makes a big difference. Like you said,
it does.
Doing something like a coffee date or having lunch with, you know, outside of the house, something.
I want to get to working out. I used to so I think I told you I used to go to Barry's boot camp.
Yes, I remember.
I love going to Barry's boot camp, and it was so relaxing. Like I remember working from home like Mondays and Fridays at my old job. I would go like take a like 5 or 6 a.m. Class, and then I would just work out, and then I would go to work right after, like go home and do my remote work. So that would be part of like my routine. And then also what I like to do is pretty much like get into the habit just like having like a cleaning routine.
Oh my gosh.
I need to stick to it.
Yes.
Like whatever, you know, mess I made, like just clean
it up right away.
Yeah, clean it right away. Hard. Don't wait until the weekend. It will stress me out. So I just want to like clean it as soon as possible.
I've been trying to be on top of cleaning, like keeping the dishes done every day. And every day I've been trying to go to sleep with a clean kitchen. And it's like, it's so hard because like you cook, you clean. You cook, you clean. It's like, man, 3 times a day. It's crazy.
It will ease my mind. And then obviously work. And then just end the night with just like watching like, I don't know, podcasts or like just, I don't know, favorite show that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just do my skincare routine and call it a day. So.
I think that, you know, you had to talk about the nighttime routine is,
yeah.
Doing a little yawning, you know, the relaxing time at night. I can't even think of like a nighttime routine. I think I want to master just like, I just need a morning routine like to master and then like move on and see what else works. But I think it's important that we kind of talk about like what our ideal situation is, because it's like, how do you move towards the ideal situation if you don't know what that is? So if you're thinking about like incorporating some of these hot girl, you know, habits into your life, you should think about how you ideally would want to have a routine that works for you, because you can't work towards something if you don't know what you're working towards. So how do you show up for yourself if you don't know in what ways you need you to show up for yourself, you know?
Yeah. I think that's like my biggest struggle is like just sticking to that routine and just like showing up for yourself. Because I could say all day I want to do this and that.
Exactly.
But then if I'm not putting into work and I'm not actually doing it, then it's like, what's the point? You know, because, you know, us as humans, we're all talk, but, you know, the action is...
You got to put the effort in as well. Yes.
I think so with me too. Like part of like a hot girl routine for me is going to food places.
I was going to say, yeah, you're definitely a foodie. So you
I
need
am
to
a foodie.
incorporate
I get that
in your like weekly, like how many times a week am I going, or what
Yes.
am I trying? Is it once a week we're trying somewhere new? Like what is the...
And,
the
you know,
foodie
moving
in you.
moving to Atlanta has made such a huge difference, like in my pockets. But I enjoy going out to eat. The little background about myself. So my dad, it's funny. I don't think my mom was a foodie. My dad, we know for sure my dad was a foodie. So, you know, I'm from New Jersey, so we would always go to New York all the time. We would go to like Little Italy,
Really? I did not know that
Chinatown.
about you.
Yeah.
Well, I knew you're from Jersey, but I didn't know you go to New York all the time. I was
did.
just talking about Wallace. I was just talking to Wallace about this, and I was like, I want to do like a weekend trip to New York. And I was like, we should go for my birthday, just a little weekend thing.
You know, New York is known for their food, obviously. It's like a melting pot and all that.
Yes.
So that's what I miss about living in New Jersey, is going to New York all the time.
And
So-
I want to see the round the clock life at New York, like the nighttime. I want to see I just want to see the
city that
nighttime
never
shift.
sleeps.
It's so it's just so different of a vibe.
But we will always like, you know, go to Chinatown or Little Italy, and that was like part of like my memory of as a kid.
Yes,
So
I love that.
yeah. So then my mom became a foodie, and then
now
obviously
you want Chinese
it
food. I
passed
want
down.
Chinatown.
I'm so done.
Oh my god!
And then obviously it passed down to my sister and I. And then when my sister met my brother-in-law, he got into the habit of being a foodie. So like
Yes.
that's like our love language, I guess you could say. And
It's
like that's
food.
how we bond together. We always like going out to places and finding places like on Yelp. And I'm one of those
Yes.
people, like I like looking at pictures of food before I actually order it.
Oh, I know. Yes.
So
she's like, "Oh my goodness, look at this! This looks so great." And I was like, I'm sticking with that."
yeah, I wonder if you guys actually do it too. Like if you guys look at pictures of food before you
It's
order it on
actually a
Yelp.
really smart thing
It
to
is.
do. But
Because you don't want to
I
be blindsided by the food, you
Well, I
know?
was gonna say sometimes I want to be surprised. I do like to be surprised, like when it comes out, and like I feel like that's part of the in the moment type of the situation. But I feel like if you're in the mood for something specific, like then sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah. Or if like it's just not giving you can trust anything on the menu, it's like, okay, I want to dot my I's and cross my T's before I order it. Like I want this.
Yeah.
Like what is this? And I show them because sometimes it has the name on the bottom, so you're like, what
Yep.
is this? And they're like, okay, this is this. And you're like, okay, this is what I want.
I love being that friend too, because I have like a lot of my friends that will text me or like I'm at work and they're like, hey Samantha, like, do you know any places?
What's
I'm like
something
their
good
go-to
eat?
person.
Yes. Or like whenever
Yeah.
we go out, she's like, where do you want to meet up? I'm like, you're the foodie. Like find somewhere for us to go and we'll just meet there.
Yeah. But that's like my biggest thing too. I love being a foodie
Yeah.
and I'm going to be a diehard foodie.
See, it's hard for me because with my
Yeah.
family, we're like the staple. We go to the staple places. So like if we find somewhere we like, we just, we're going on a family outing. We all just go to that place. And it's been like that. There's literally a restaurant we go to Marlowe's Tavern, and the people there have known us since before I had kids. That's how long some of them have been there, and they know me. And I'm like, this is crazy. My
you
husband
said your
has a
husband likes the
friend.
fries.
Yes, he loves the fries there. I like an item there that they had on the menu when we first started going. Then they didn't have it on the menu for a while, but they would still make it. So I would ask for like the special off menu item. And now it's back on the menu. So it's like I want to go there like every week to get it. It's like they call it banh mi chicken wraps.
Okay.
And it's like they're pickled vegetables and like some sort of soy ginger sauce.
Okay.
And it's just a wrap. But it's like one of my favorite items from there. And I'm like, yes, it's back on the menu. Because when they make it off menu, it doesn't taste the
Yeah.
same because they don't have all the same exact ingredients. But like, and I get it with extra vegetables because they like pickle the vegetables on the wrap. So good.
You like a cucumber salad too?
Yes, you know, we might go tomorrow.
Oh Lord.
I might have to go. Yes, I love a cucumber salad. I love pickled stuff for some reason.
I love pickled onions. I have
the
to
pickled red onions. They have
Yeah.
them at Marlowe's. Look, this is not sponsored.
Oh Jesus. Would you say like going to concerts is part of like a hot girl habit too?
I feel like yes. I think doing something that you enjoy doing is a hot girl habit. Like some hot girl habits, they don't have to be like things you do every day. Like it could just be making time for, like you said, like self-care or something that you like to do. So I definitely feel like, you know, getting out there, the idea of going to a concert, getting dressed up, being around other people. Yes, I feel like that's definitely in the hot girl habit.
Oh, like for example, the Taylor Swift concert. I mean, I didn't go. I regret it because now I'm a huge Swiftie. I know how you feel about Taylor Swift.
I like Taylor Swift, don't get me wrong. I'm just not a Swiftie.
What I was going to say about the Taylor Swift concert, my sister told me because she went to a Janet Jackson concert and it was at the State Farm Arena.
Yeah.
And then I think Taylor Swift concert was at the Mercedes-Benz.
I couldn't imagine.
She said all she saw was like flashy colors.
Swifties.
Yes. So I think that's like the excitement too, is like actually putting an outfit together for the concert. Like when I went to the Bad Bunny concert, I didn't wear like a theme outfit, but a lot of people were wearing like cowboy hats and all that.
A lot of people did that for Beyonce's concert too. I didn't wear like a themed outfit, but just getting dressed up, doing your makeup, your hair, going with a friend, because normally you go with like a really good girlfriend or something. But I love concerts, and I'm the type of person, like whether it's my kind of music or not, like I show up. Yes, I show up.
Yep.
So my niece and my nephew are going to Katy Perry concert this year.
Okay.
And my nephew accidentally bought too many tickets. So he was like, Auntie, you want to come? And I was so flattered because I was like, they want to hang out with me. Like, you know, because I'm old compared to them. So I was like, yes, I'll go with you. But I'm the type of person, if I'm going to go, I'm going to show up. So yes, I'm going to get dressed up with the kids. I'll be out there singing a couple Katy Perry songs that I know, if she sings any that I do know. But like, I'm not going to be the boring person. Like, my mother-in-law went to a concert with my niece, and she's like, yeah, I just sat there and took a nap. And I was like...
At a concert?
Yeah.
How is that even possible? Did she wear like the headphones?
No.
What's those called?
No.
Okay.
But I feel like I feel like that's like a whole half of the experience, like having someone fun to go with. And I was like,
how do you fall asleep at a concert?
She was just going
soundproof
more for
headphones. That's what I meant.
She was going more for like safety purposes, not to go with her to enjoy the concert. And I was like, interesting. Yeah, I would be so upset if my person fell asleep. Like, act like you're interested, just like at least, you know, like when you're I wonder if she did this, you know, do the doze off. Or like do the Stevie Wonder.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Get the head nod in there, you know, something. But if I go, I'm like, well, you know this, because when we went to Bad Bunny, I knew none of his music, but I was still like jamming. Even his little techno DJ that he had before he went on stage. Remember the DJ?
I forgot a DJ name, but I know you're talking about.
I don't know, but it was techno music, and I was like, okay.
Even like your son, because you FaceTime your son, and he was like jamming too.
Yes, we were jamming. Yes. Yeah. So he likes music too, and he dances just like me, so I feel bad.
But this is like a great topic to talk about today on today's episode.
So this episode was definitely another good episode to encourage you to have some bougie hot girl habits this year. We're still in the beginning of the year. It's still giving New Year vibes. So if you're going to include any of these habits, why don't you let us know down below, or also include any habits that maybe we missed or that we should be doing on the day-to-day or the regular. And yeah, we will see you guys on the next episode.
And don't forget to comment, subscribe, and
give us a thumbs up.
Okay, guys. See you on the next episode.